To go here.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to another Tuesday evening of Homebuyer Academy Live. I'm your host Maurice. I got Chad here with me. What's going on, Chad?
My good brother, how are you?
Good, man. We missed you, man. The people been missing Chad's presence. I know you've been grinding, with the real estate business. How's that been going? Chad here with me. What's going
Well,
on, Chad?
everything's going good, man. Just been super busy with family and uh business. Business is going really well, thank God. So yeah, bro, just happy to be here with another episode of Home Buyer Academy and just trying to make sure everything is running smooth on Facebook. You could catch us live on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, on YouTube. So yeah, just making sure everything is cooking properly, man. But really excited for tonight's conversation, my bro.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And those that have been watching for the first time, we're shifting things up just a little bit, but we're still here to educate you guys and kind of bring some entertainment to you guys, give you some new information that can help you in your home buying process, your knowledge around real estate, whatever it is in that realm. We want to bring it to you guys, and so um, still keeping it in that same vein. Speaking of like your time away, it makes me think of what we're grateful for, being grateful for family, being grateful for all the opportunities that God has been giving us recently.
Live on
Um,
Facebook,
so
on
I'm just grateful
YouTube.
for for all of that. But what about you? What have you been grateful for lately?
Well, grateful for another day, man. My son just
Mm-hmm.
turned 9, and it's crazy how it's like a blink of an eye. They just keep on moving, brother. So, it was great having the kids this weekend in the
Mm-hmm.
pool and chilling, and your
Yeah.
little ones and our little ones, and it was just, family. I just that has me living in my dreams. So I'm really grateful for that, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Likewise, man. This was truly a blessing of a weekend. I know y'all only see us when we connect online, but we do a
Yeah,
lot together behind the scenes, man, building this empire, as it were.
all the time.
Can you hear me? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
was just saying
yeah.
all the
Okay.
time. We're locked
Yeah, for
in. We're
sure.
locked in for
So
real.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what really speaks to. Yeah, it's like a delay, man. But that's what really speaks to like what makes our camaraderie so strong because we have a lot of the same fundamental beliefs. We believe in the same thing. We're working towards the same goals. Generational wealth is a really big
Mm-hmm.
conversation around our dinner table. When we get together with our children and our elders, we're always talking about how we could bring it all together. And real estate is that
Mm-hmm.
vein that's a real, I think, essential part of that wealth
Yeah.
journey. And for us, we're just looking to keep on accumulating
Mm-hmm.
assets, but also open the doors to others so that they can learn how to be able to do the same,
Yes.
right? So tonight we're going to be talking about some of I can't call it
Yeah.
competition, right? Because if you talk about a big boy tonight, but somebody that I actually admire
Mm-hmm.
very deeply.
Yeah, I was thinking of just that. I know you dubbed yourself like the Black Dave Ramsey. So I wanted to maybe the viewers can kind of see because you got a solid
Yeah,
product that we're doing with Homebuyer Academy that we're building out together. So it made me think. It could, a lot of times we have inspiration from somewhere, and I know even in like your book, you kind of mentioned Dave Ramsey. So kind of wanted to maybe open up the floor with that that inspiration on your like your method to home ownership, how Homebuyer Academy came about, kind of your thoughts on Dave Ramsey and all of that.
yeah, man. I can't. Well, Dave Ramsey for me is a huge role model and an icon. I think that what he's done in really allowing people to experience financial freedom over and over and over again is really a commendable journey. Like it's been beautiful. He's been on it for decades. So I couldn't dare call myself anything like Dave Ramsey because he's on
Hmm.
another level, right? He's a guru in this game. The one thing though that I would say that with all of the amazing things that Dave Ramsey represents, the debt snowball method, paying yourself first, all of those kind of things that really anybody can incorporate into their life to get the success One thing that he speaks to that I think doesn't really catch this moment is not using credit, right? Now, in all reality, credit is just the reality of life, right? So it's whether it's something that you have struggled with in the past and are looking to get on the other side with, or if you're totally in the driver's seat of your credit and you're using it to leverage yourself, it's essential. I don't think that you could really be financially astute or financially complete with your teachings unless we do address credit. And in that regard, that's the one area where I say, for all of the great things that Dave Ramsey does discuss, the one area that I think leaves in a space of opportunity is how we use and leverage credit to be able to get to your goals of home ownership. Because I'm not a big proponent of using credit
Hmm.
to buy a car or using credit to take certain risks. But when we talk about acquiring a two, three, four, five, $600,000 asset in real estate, credit is going to be the easiest pathway forward because Dave Ramsey talks about
Hmm.
cash flowing it. But fam, with these prices right now, it's going to put yourself in a position where you're going to be sitting on the sidelines while the game is
Hmm.
passing you by. So yes, um, of the all the wonderful things that Brother Dave Ramsey speaks to, that one space is, I think, the real weakness, or better yet, let me not put it that way, but the one area of opportunity that I would go to utilize credit
Hmm.
as leverage to get what you want rather than avoiding it
Yeah,
altogether.
I like that concept because I've even read the Total Money Makeover myself, and I like some of his thought processes. Um, and I'll say, can you unpack that a little bit more on how like what we do at Home Buyer Academy differs? Because now that I'm hearing it and the way you're explaining it, it's like if you know how to use credit, then you can do some of the things that he's teaching quicker versus if you're just doing straight building off of cash flow. That's going to probably take 10 times as long, like 10 years longer, right? Like, am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be 10 years. I don't know if it's even possible without credit for a lot of people because
Hmm.
in America, a lot of people. I don't know the statistics, but our savings numbers are abysmal. So a
Hmm.
lot of people are living check to check, much less with an emergency fund and much less with savings for 10, 20, 30, 40% down, or to even say you're going to cash flow buying a house. It's just not practical for a majority of Americans today. So while the debt snowball, I think, is a core element on how to build your credit and how to put yourself in the financial driver's seat, utilizing that method of paying off the smallest bill that you have and then growing to accomplish debt elimination all the way through. I think that that's a phenomenal um, strategy and a methodology that Dave Ramsey preaches, and it's been highly successful for a lot of his clients. It's been highly successful for a lot of my clients, and that's normally the starting point. Working on the debt snowball to really start to have that credit score go up and the debt go down. Now, from there, um, Dave Ramsey does say that, you know, credit is stupid because of the interest. And, he has a point there.
Hmm.
But the question is, what are you using credit for? Now, if you're getting credit cards and you're finding yourself making all of this payments and interest, yeah, you're
Hmm.
losing. It's definitely not beneficial financially in that regard. And in most cases, most people are leveraging credit to get things that aren't going to get become an asset. So it's a liability on top of a
Right.
liability, right? So in that regard, cool. But when we start to take a look at the fact that without immersing yourself in deep credit card
Hmm.
debt, you can actually get yourself a loan for 96.5% of the value of a property or 95% of the value of a property.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'm going to jump at the bare minimum numbers, right? 3.5%, 5%
Right.
down, is because that's the entry
Mm.
point to this world of opportunity. Because if you look at how prices change, right? Let's say it takes somebody a year to save $5,000, right? Let's say it takes them a year to save $7,500. that means that as it stands, if you're just now starting your process, it's going to take you almost 2 years just to save enough for your down payment anyway. And if you wanted to put down 20%, it might take you 3, 4, 5 years. But in that time frame, let's take a look back at the purchase prices of properties just 4 or 5 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. We're talking about a difference in many cases of 20%
Mm.
over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. 15%, 20%, 25% based on the
Mm-hmm.
market. Now that's money that you lost rather than getting in at the bare minimum down payment point and riding that wave up, building more equity. Now, it's very sound advice to be able to save up 20% to be able to buy. The only problem is it's putting your home buyer goals so far into the future that you really can't dictate or predict if you'll be able to afford those
Mm-hmm.
properties at that point. So I say to get into what you could
Yeah.
afford as soon as you can and utilize your credit as a vehicle to start the process of building equity in your property.
Now that makes me think of this. And I don't want to shift too much from what you were talking about, but because I'm thinking of like when I first read the Total Money Makeover, it's probably like 10 years ago. So you can imagine how much the industry rates housing has changed. And thinking about the cost of living and everything now, I saw this video where they was comparing I think it was back in like 1940s, so like the what minimum wage was compared to like how much a house could afford. So they said that they kept.
Don't spend that nickel
Yep.
all in
So
one
yeah, so
place.
like it showed a breakdown. So basically it would be the equivalent of like minimum wage should be $66 today to be able to afford like where the average house is now, even though minimum wage is like I think like I don't know, $10 to $17, somewhere low. But there was like they were doing a price comparison because like my granddad, what had 5 kids, living in one house, and he was the only one working, and he was able to afford that, feed the family, and do all the stuff he was able to do back at that time. But like now, like you said, we're living check to check. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, I think that when you have a clear vision of what you're looking to accomplish, I think that
Mm,
that's going to really dictate a lot of your moves. Now, like I said, the debt snowball is a great first starting point to really start to see that momentum build, right? Because if
mm-hmm.
man, I speak to a lot of people who end up having a ton of credit card debt, and
Yeah.
people end up making decisions like bankruptcies or debt consolidation or all of these other things where if you're patient with the process, a lot of the times you could just eliminate the debt organically over time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, um, with the way that the price of living has gone up, it does feel like some of those teachings beyond like the debt snowball become antiquated
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds cool to be able to say, yeah, save up 20%. 20% on a $500,000 house is what,
Yeah.
50,000? Yeah,
A hundred thousand.
$50,000 plus another 4% in closing costs and probably more depending on where we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about a total of what's that? 70,000?
Mm-hmm.
$70,000 isn't things that you can't just
You can't
sneeze at
just.
70,000 and think that people are putting that away. Think about that. Think if you needed to save 70,000 just to be eligible to buy a house. Think about how many of these properties would just
Mm,
be rented out. And we're already seeing that. A lot of people, as it stands, even outside of putting down 20%, can't afford a mortgage, right? So, yeah, man, I say rather than waiting to save
mm-hmm.
70,000 on a $500,000 house, go ahead and try to jump in with
Mm,
20 because at least at that point, now you'll be able to ride that wave up, which I think is going to be. If not, you're gonna have to buy after values go up, and that's just
mm.
gonna make that 20% a more distant reality,
So with
right? Like,
that, I was gonna
who
say.
puts down 20% anymore?
So yeah, I was gonna say. So with that being said, the person that's like say, hey, okay, that sounds good. I'm living check to check. How do I get the 20,000? I know I can't do the 70, but how would you help me get to 20,000? Or whatever that amount,
Right.
10,000 even.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I think in this whole space, the first thing is to take a look at um, like budgeting, really what's going out, already what you're doing
Sorry,
before
y'all.
you saving because
The feed.
percent range, and that's just going to put you so much further back than you saving money and making peanuts and interest, right? So eliminate the negative money before you start building up the savings. But what you will find is that as you save, you're right now is a very, very good market for very particular kinds of people. People,
Mm,
number one, who want to put down as little as possible for your home. How do we make that
mm,
happen? Now, let's say that you can't save quite 20, but you're in a position where look, you're looking for a $300,000 house and you see a
right.
motivated seller, someone's had that house on the market for 90 days, 120 days, which is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are people that you could go to and ask for money to close. They could give you what's called a seller's concession. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
you're able to get a 3% seller's concession on a $300,000 house. That's $9,000 that's going towards your closing costs and your down payment. That now makes your responsibility to bring to the table that much less. And you have the flexibility of negotiating up to a 6% concession. So I think a lot of it is going to be less about how you're able to come up with all of the money and more of how
Mm-hmm.
you actually enlist your professionals that you work with to get you to the money. So a strong negotiating real estate agent, powerful, because they're going to be able to put the chips on the table and say, hey, listen, we'll make our offer with a 6% concession. You know what I'm saying? Get back to me
Mm-hmm.
when you're ready. But you have to have the gall to be able to make that kind of offer because a lot of people will say, "Oh, they
Yeah.
probably won't accept that. I don't know if they'll do that." And if that's their mentality, how are they going to negotiate a big deal for you? How are they going to negotiate a big
Mm-hmm.
win? No, they're going to
Right.
accept the first offer that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But in real estate, there's no sweeter space to negotiate. That's exactly all real estate is. The price of a property is simply predicated on what one person was able to negotiate to against another person, and that deal go through. And now that's where the market is set. This whole market is predicated based on how well or how poorly the people exercising in it are able to negotiate. And if you have the right person on your team, your money is not coming out of your pocket at the same rate as if you have somebody that's just desperate to make a sale. That person that needs to make a sale and it's not bubbling,
Mm-hmm.
not doing business, they get somebody on the hook. That property could have been on the market for the last 6 months, and they're going to give full price rather than saying, "Hey, look, let's see if you could give me a 6% concession and let's take 20 off of that price."
Right.
And know
So.
how to structure it in a way where you could justify your offer and make it make sense to a seller.
Mm,
So it's important that you utilize your team to get to your goal. But if you do that well, that makes you in line to be able to save a ton of money in your process.
mm. So with that in mind, I kind of want to ask, like, how does Homebuyer Academy, how does our product kind of separate us from, I'll say, like, the competition, like because we know this stuff on the back end, and somebody might be watching that, like, they can hear it, but it might not click for them. But knowing that if they go through the home.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Cool. So what I would say is that what separates Homebuyer Academy from anything else in the market is we use very strong financial literacy principles as a foundation of everything that we do. But once we get past the point of discussing savings, budgeting, eliminating debt, and building credit, we're able to actually go into really fine detail to get you the results that you want, starting with credit, right? Because we're able to go into how to utilize the different strategies, techniques, and tools. Like, man, all of this stuff is based on experience. All of this stuff is based on successes and failures. So the successes of someone who may have had a low credit score and followed a plan to get to a higher score. What is that plan? Us having a plan for individual clients to customize their journey really helps us to stand out, because we're not just book knowledge at that point. We're not just somebody that's telling you based on what we read or saw on a YouTube video. We're going based off of years and years of experience in all of these different areas that are really going to have the whole process systematized for you so that you don't really have to do any part of it by yourself. And what we like to say is that we're exactly where to go when your lender says no. So when your lender can't do anything, your realtor can't do anything, there's nowhere for you to really go. That's where Home Buyer Academy comes in to fill that gap so that we get you the support that you need to help you to get to the equity you want to achieve. Yeah, man. And that's how we got to build out, man. That's why it
Mm-hmm.
works. That's why it
Yeah,
works, man.
yeah. That's why we've been at this for a couple years now. I'm talking about Homebuyer Academy itself. So yeah, I'm excited with what we got brewing with Homebuyer Academy. Really excited about what we got coming up. If you want to talk about some recent wins, I think that'll be good because we've been doing a lot off camera behind the scenes, especially you. So
Yeah,
yeah, if you can
man.
share with everybody.
I made a couple of posts. As a matter of fact, I made some videos. I didn't really even post them. Some of them were posted, but we've been closing a lot of people with down payment assistance. Now, I'm gonna tell you the God's honest
Mm-hmm.
truth. It's not a fun process. I don't enjoy them, but I think that is a beautiful journey to be able to see somebody who might be limited with funds, but have an option to get
Mm-hmm.
$40,000 or $70,000 towards their down payment, and to be able to see how we are making home ownership dreams out of thin air. It's a beautiful thing, and we've been able to have consecutive clients close with less than $1,000 out of pocket, less than $1,000, $0, one
That's
penny,
awesome.
and it's consistent. So we have a nice flow on how to get it done to make sure that these dreams are achieved without that financial barrier by taking
Mm-hmm.
advantage of the resources that are accessible to you. Plus, taking advantage of the skill set that's going to help you to take advantage of the opportunity to get money to
Mm-hmm.
close from this. And it's really been able to make the process and the journey just, man, we're talking about people who just they didn't think it would ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
Person
I
after
love.
person after person. They thought it would never happen, and then we got it done.
Yeah, I was saying I love getting the like team alerts when I look in the in the team alerts we see another
Yeah,
person close the house, another person moving forward, another person going to closing, and then seeing the videos. It's like yeah, we building something solid here. It's
yeah,
exciting because like in real time, like every week, and then you get
yeah,
another consultation. Then next thing you know, like we got events coming up. We got the at First Baptist Church in Umatilla on the 13th. Now word spread it about that. They was like, "Oh, I heard about I was at the church today. I'm trying to get some content. Actually, not trying to. I got some content to kind of get ready for for that weekend. And people like, I heard about your event. Yeah, I'm gonna come out. So it's like and we're just getting started, man. And seeing all that like that impact, like it's exciting to be a part of the change, to be a part of the impact.
yeah, man. It's dope, bro. It really is, man. And I feel grateful that our team
Mm-hmm.
is specialized in all of these areas that really help. And now we're taking the show on the road, like you said, where we're going to
Mm-hmm.
churches, we're going to different community centers. We're actually in the process of talking about we're being invited into apartment complexes throughout the city of Orlando and Orange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Orange County,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to be asked to speak to high end, low end, low income, middle income apartment home buyers, because that's where they are. That's where they are right now in this phase, and we're going to help them to elevate to home ownership. And it's cool that people are seeing what we're doing and tapping us on the shoulder to bring us in. So if you
Mm-hmm.
are one of those people that you need someone to come talk to your organization, about the home buyer journey, we'll be able to show you why we're better than Dave Ramsey for you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
homeowner, if you want to be able to be debt free, Dave's here as a part of what you do and what you want to achieve. There's no one like us. There's nothing out there like Homebuyer Academy. So check it out so that you could start to take
Mhm.
advantage of the resources to make home ownership your next move.
And the reason why and you guys know as to do my mindset and financial coaching, the reason why I'm so passionate about home ownership is because it's more tangible than any of the other vehicles that are out there. You hear about investing, you hear about all that stuff that it's cool to see on paper on the back end, but like I'm literally recording this video in my house. Chad is in his house. We're live, like in the houses that we own that can be passed down to our kids that our kids can have stake in, and I think that's a foundational thing with building value because it's one thing when you can physically touch and see, and we're in that society where it's like it's if I can't see it, if I can't touch it, then is it
It's
really
not
real?
even real.
Real. So I think that's a foundational thing with building generational wealth to tell your kids, hey, we own this, and then teach them and build them up from there. Like yeah, all that other stuff is great, but when it comes to home ownership, I think that is tangibly valuable. Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's like you said it perfectly, bro. Because all of these other things, whether you talk about crypto or different wealth vehicles or even real estate
Hmm.
investing, all of those are great after you get your house. But the house is
Hmm.
the first level of stability, I think, in your financial wellness journey. You get this
Hmm.
piece taken care of, a lot of other things become easier to get access to, because
Hmm.
this is something that you constantly have that if purchased properly, you'll be able to generate wealth and equity over time. So yeah, man,
Hmm.
it's dope to be over, learning new things and exploring new things, but this is a core place that you got to come to.
Yeah.
And I think before you go too far in other things.
Yeah, definitely. Because who knows, like that, just what you learned through Homebuyer Academy. You want to start a business, you might get what you need to purchase a building, to purchase, or whatever that we can get to that another day. But just the foundational things that you get through Homebuyer Academy really can set you on path for so many other things.
Right, right. And if you do have questions, or if you are in a place where you need some support around building your credit, if you need some support getting access to money to close, if you're ready to start your home buyer journey, go ahead and book a call with us right here. Just hit the QR code in the top corner of the video here, and we'll actually start the process of having the conversation, because there's no pressure, no rush, no sale. All we want to really be able to do is open up the conversation. So whether it takes you 6 months or 6 years, we're there to see you through your journey. So go ahead and book a call right now so that we can take the first steps in getting you towards your home.
Perfect. And with that being said, we're gonna wrap up tonight's episode.
Awesome.
You can catch it again on YouTube, and I've actually started adding a special feature with More or Less Podcast, so you can re-watch and re-listen to these on More or Less Podcast or Homebuyer Academy Live on YouTube, and always stay up to date with the latest information. Thank you guys for joining us. Go ahead and subscribe to homebuyeracademy.org. Join the Facebook group, the 2025 Homebuyers Club. We got about 4 months left, so go ahead and join in and see what you can get done before the year is out. And then I'll throw it to you, Chad, for any closing last minute words.
Man, well, but I want to just thank you for constantly being uh, that mentality monster that I've seen personally. You help people through all kind of mental and emotional barriers to their success. So keep doing what you're doing, bro, and keep supporting the podcast, y'all. Check out More or Less Podcast and meet us here again for the next episode of Homebuyer Academy next Tuesday, same place, same time.